Ladies and gentlemen, your Kansas City Chiefs are officially back. They just pulled off a very impressive win over the Detroit Lions on Sunday Night Football by the final score of 30-17. And with this win, the Chiefs move to 3-3 on the season, and the Lions fall to 4-2. In a must-win game in Week 6, the Chiefs went out against one of the best teams in the NFL, and they won by 13 points. And I understand the Lions were down like 5 of their 6 defensive players in the secondary, but they went out there and pretty soundly beat one of the best teams in the NFL that has easily a top 3 offense in football. So the defense played great despite not being able to put pressure on Jared Goff. The offense was able to rally to put up 30 points with no Josh Simmons, with Harrison Butker missing extra points. The Chiefs were able to overcome a lot in this game. And when you saw them, put up 30 against this Lions team, man, I was just smiling from ear to ear. And guess what? You're going to get Rashee Rice back next week, and the Chiefs survived the storm. They made it through this first, damn near 2 months of the season without your number one option. You're getting him back next week against the Raiders, and the Chiefs' offense is going to get better. The Chiefs' offense is going to add maybe a top 15 wide receiver in football to a unit that already has looked very impressive over the last 3 weeks. I mean, if you just look at it, the Chiefs have put up, 37 against the Ravens, then they put up 28 against the Jags, and then 30 against the Lions. The Chiefs are back. This offense is legit. We have been waiting years for this. And the Chiefs' defense going up against a very good Lions offense. They can run the football with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown are one of the best duos in football. They've also got, a ton of weapons on that offense with, Sam Laporta, the tight end, who caught a touchdown on Shamari Connor. They've got, Jamison Williams. They have so many weapons on that offense. And the Chiefs' defense, for not being able to get to Jared Goff really whatsoever, they only sacked him once. They held that offense in check to 17 points. That's a testament to how good this defense is, to how Steve Spagnuolo just has these guys ready to go, and the secondary was phenomenal tonight. Again, you really couldn't force any pressure on Jared Goff. The pass rush remains to be an issue, but they made enough plays with the linebackers and the secondary to hold that very powerful offense to 17 points. Super impressed. And I want to go ahead and get into the Chiefs' offensive stats in this game because, again, they looked unbelievable on offense for the 3rd week in a row. Patrick Mahomes was 22 of 30 for 257 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. He did not throw any interceptions, and he got sacked 3 times. Jalen Moore was filling in for Josh Simmons, who missed the game due to a family emergency. Prayers up to Josh Simmons. It sounds like it is not good whatsoever. None of the Chiefs coaching staff or front office thought that Simmons was going to miss the game. It seems like this happened very last minute. And so for Jalen Moore to slot in at left tackle and play the way he did against Aiden Hutchinson in a very good, Lions pass rush, I was super impressed. I mean, this Lions pass rush sacked Lamar Jackson 7 times. And so for Mahomes to only get sacked 3 times, I was super impressed by that. But going ahead and looking at the Chiefs' rushing stats in this game, Isaiah Pacheco was the leading rusher. He had 12 carries for 51 yards, with his longest run being that 11-yard run. Patrick Mahomes had 10 carries for 31 yards. He also had that touchdown run on that read option where he just kept it himself and got into the end zone. You love to see Patrick Mahomes get it done with his legs, even though at times it scares the ever-living crap out of me. Kareem Hunt had 6 carries for 23 yards. Xavier Worthy only had 1 for 6. But the Chiefs as a team went for 111 yards on 29 carries, and they did score a touchdown. So even though they kind of had to mix and match some things, they were able to do enough on the ground, and they actually outrushed the Lions, which I think nobody would have expected coming into this game. And also, I want to give a huge shout out to the Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt had that massive run in the fourth quarter where he just straight up bullied the guys that he was running through. And it didn't ice the game, but it gave him a first down. And at that point, with the clock winding down and the Lions basically out of timeouts, it seemed like that was the killer. So Kareem Hunt was very effective. He ran for, his longest being at that 10-yard run. Super impressed by him. I also want to go ahead and look at the Chiefs' receiving stats in this game because so many guys performed in this game. And the biggest performer was tight end Travis Kelce. 6 catches for 78 yards, with his longest being that 17-yard catch. He was targeted 7 times, so he was 6 of 7. Super impressed. He looked like vintage Kelce out there, and that is an unbelievable thing. It was good to see him kind of turn back the clock and show up in a big game. Juju Smith-Schuster had 3 catches for 57 yards. Hollywood Brown had 4 receptions for 45 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was an absolute killer in this game. Hollywood Brown looked great. And to see him, get used in the red zone like they've used Xavier Worthy in the past, I was very happy to see that. Brashard Smith had 3 catches for 21 yards. Slowly but surely, he is getting more acclimated into this offense, and that's a good thing. Noah Gray had 2 catches for 25 yards. Xavier Worthy had 2 catches for 20, and he also had a receiving touchdown. And then Kareem Hunt had 1 catch for 11 yards. Pacheco was targeted once. Actually, no, he was targeted twice. No, he was targeted 3 times. Excuse me. He was targeted 3 times, had 1 catch for no yards. So they did leave a lot to be desired, in the pass catching game. But as a team, they went for 257 and 3 touchdowns, and you absolutely love to see that. And I want to go ahead and get into the Lions' offensive stats because I thought that the Chiefs' defense really kept them in check. Jared Goff was 23 of 29 for 203 and 2 touchdowns. He was only sacked 1 time, and I do think that's an issue because they basically had a guy off the practice squad in their left tackle who was really good in this game, and I think that's more of a criticism of the Chiefs' pass rush than it is their third-string left tackle being that good. But Jahmyr Gibbs had 17 carries for 65 yards. David Montgomery had 4 for 24. Jared Goff had 1 scramble for 7 yards. And Amon-Ra St. Brown had 1 carry for 2 yards. So as a team, Detroit only rushed for 98 yards on 23 carries. The Chiefs defense did their job and stopped the run for the most part, and that is such an encouraging thing because if the Lions can't run the football, it puts so much pressure on Jared Goff to go out there and win the football game. And as we're going to see in these passing stats, he wasn't able to win the football game. So looking at the receiving stats, Jamison Williams was an absolute dog in this game. He had 6 catches for 66 yards and 1 touchdown. Sam Laporta had 5 for 55 and 1 touchdown, where he basically just, bullied Shamari Connor. Amon-Ra St. Brown had the most receptions in this game. It seemed like Jared Goff would literally target him all the freaking time. So 9 catches, 45 yards. For the most part, kind of kept him in check. David Montgomery had 2 for 37 with that long run of 23 yards after he broke away. And Jahmyr Gibbs, as a receiver, had 1 catch for no yards. So you love to see that. And I think the Chiefs defense did their job in this game at slowing down what the Lions did best, and that's running the football. Now, again, to get into a couple negatives very quickly, I don't have a ton of negatives. I think that the Chiefs played very well in this game, but I want to address the big issues that I saw right away. The Chiefs still don't really have a pass rush. I know Charles Omenihu got to him, and that's all right, I guess. It was kind of not a garbage time sack, but it was a sack where Chris Jones basically forced the pocket. Jared Goff stepped up, and Omenihu fell on him. So outside of that sack, they weren't able to get any consistent pressure on Jared Goff. And I think that's something that as we continue to go on this season, if they don't get better with the front four, that could present some issues. And also Harrison Butker, he missed the extra point on the first touchdown. And it's just like at this point, he has missed a kick in 5 of the 6 games. So he's a liability. And yeah, he was able to figure it out and kick that, field goal to put him up 30-17. But it just seems like these issues continue for the special teams and specifically Harrison Butker. Now, I do want to give some massive praise in one aspect of this game that we have not talked about whatsoever, and we'll do that right after hearing from our fantastic sponsors. This video is sponsored by my friends over at DM Injury Law. Injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation, but time is critical. Rely on the experienced personal injury attorneys at DM Law, Kansas City and Missouri's top injury law firm. DM Law is a full-service personal injury practice supported by a large team of investigators, case managers, medical records specialists, and more. And best of all, you don't pay unless they win. DM Law operates on a contingency fee basis, meaning no fees unless they win your case. And they also provide free consultations. So if you've been injured, don't wait. You can contact DM Law today for a free consultation and learn how they can help you pursue the compensation you deserve. Let them handle the fight while you focus on healing. Hurt in a car wreck? Call Mike. Remember, Mike's got this. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement. Thanks to DM Injury Law for sponsoring this video. The Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway is the place to be. With over 1,500 slot machines, 35 table games, 4 restaurants, and an ESPN Bet sportsbook, there are plenty of ways to find your fun. For more chances to win, follow their Facebook, Instagram, and X. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Huge thanks to the sponsors that have supported me and this channel all football season long. Now, you can correct me down in the comment section if I'm wrong. I'm fairly certain the Chiefs did not commit any penalties in this game. And after watching what they did in Jacksonville, where the penalties killed them, to see this team play a more disciplined brand of football, it's why you won this game. And I just want to give so much credit to Andy Reid for coaching that out of them, and then the players for, actually following through and not killing themselves, because again, they gave away that Jacksonville game because they were not the more disciplined football team. And so against a team like the Lions, you can't kill yourself. And the Chiefs did not do that in this game tonight. The Lions were the team that were more heavily penalized. And that is such a great thing because it just feels like the Chiefs have been the team that has been guilty of committing some pretty sloppy penalties. We didn't see that tonight. And I want to give so much credit to this coaching staff and really the team as a whole for figuring out how to nip that in the bud. Because if they committed penalties tonight, they might not have won it. And I understand that if they lost this game, they would have moved to 2-4. But this game kind of felt like a must-win. Even if it wasn't in that locker room a must-win, you're playing at home. You're coming off of a game against the Jaguars where you gave it away. And the Lions were dealing with a lot of injuries. They didn't have their starting left tackle, their backup left tackle. They didn't have 5 of their 6 defensive backs. You needed to go out there against this Lions team that was dealing with injuries and find a way to get a win. You were favored in this game by 2.5. Chiefs covered the spread, by the way. And for everyone complaining about maybe this win didn't look so great or they still can't get to the quarterback, guess what? They just beat one of the best teams in the NFL by 13 points at home when they were favored by 2.5. I will take that 10 times out of 10, and this offense is trending in the right direction. Again, I don't know how many times I have to say it. I'll scream it from the rooftop. You're getting Rashee Rice back this week. He's going to be playing against the Raiders on Sunday at Arrowhead Stadium, and this offense is going to continue to ascend. The defense has been fantastic this year outside of their blip against, I guess the Jags on that last drive. And then in Brazil, the Chiefs defense came to play tonight. And even though they struggled to generate pressure, they held the Lions offense to 17 points. And that is a great thing. And I want to go ahead and pull up some advanced stats in this game because I think that, it's very easy to look at the box score, but I want to look at the team stats. And I'll go ahead and read off these passing first downs. So the Chiefs had more first downs than the Lions, 26-18. They had more passing first downs. They had more rushing first downs. They also had more first downs from penalties. Third down efficiency, the Chiefs were 4 of 10. The Lions were 5 for 11. Fourth down efficiency, this is a big one. The Lions were 0-2. The Chiefs were 2-3, or 2 for 3. I will say, the one fourth down conversion they didn't get, why are we lining Patrick Mahomes in the shotgun on 4th and 1? Why are we doing that, Andy? That was really my only complaint from the offense in this game. That play call was stupid. Didn't make any sense. Just give the ball to Kareem Hunt, have him barrel forward for a yard, and that drive would have kept going. So, didn't love that. But the Chiefs ran more total plays than the Lions, 62-53. They had more total yards by a considerable margin. 58 yards, that is a huge, advantage in this game. They had one more drive than the Lions. Really where this gets interesting is the Chiefs actually had more yards per play in this game. They had 5.7 to the Lions 5.6. And then passing, 243 to 199. So super impressed. And then yards per pass, Mahomes averaged 7.4 per pass to Jared Goff 6.6. But the Chiefs offense came to play, and I'm just so impressed by that. So drop your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm feeling great after this statement win against the Detroit Lions. Primetime on Sunday Night Football. It doesn't get any better than this. And then you play the hated Las Vegas Raiders next Sunday at Arrowhead Stadium with a chance to go over 500 for the first time this year. So super excited for that. This is the stretch of games. If the Chiefs can just keep everybody healthy, they can go on a bit of a run here. And this is where the AFC West, the Chargers and the Broncos, who did win today, but they didn't look great, this is when they start to breathe a little bit heavier. This is when things start to tighten up, and the Chiefs are back, ladies and gentlemen. Your Kansas City Chiefs are back, and they showed that tonight at Arrowhead Stadium. And I don't know if you guys actually saw on the broadcast, I'm a part of the Pyro team for the Chiefs. Those new player introductions, the giant arrowheads, I hope it looked good on TV. It was not fun moving into place, but I was out there at the stadium, met a couple of you guys. Shout out to you guys for watching this channel and supporting me. I appreciate you guys so much. But yeah, super cool stuff going on at One Arrowhead Drive. Man, what a great time, man. What a great time. What a great win. Your Kansas City Chiefs just took care of one of the best teams in the NFL in the Detroit Lions by the final score of 30-17. And with this win, the Chiefs are officially back. Drop your thoughts down in the comment section below. Love you, appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, go Chiefs.